Hi 607 and 608. Today we will be learning a new learning target, which is I can determine the total surface area of a three-dimensional figure from a net. And the learning objective is I can use the net to determine the surface area of prisms. Some of the important vocabulary that we are going to need to know are surface area, which is the sum of the areas of all the faces of a 3D figure, a rectangular prism, which is what we'll be calculating the surface area of today is a three-dimensional solid shape which has six faces that are rectangular. A net is a three-dimensional representation of a two-dimensional figure. In order to calculate the surface area, here are a few steps to a rectangular prism. You could use the net to help you find the surface area. To find the surface area, you're going to find the area of each face. Then you're going to add all the areas together to calculate the surface area. If we look over here, here's our rectangular prism, right? And here's how it starts to unfold. And then this is the net. This is the net, and a rectangular prism has six faces. Now let's look at example number 1. Up here in bold and in red is extremely important because in order to label the dimensions, remember opposite sides are equal in a rectangle. Not all your dimensions will be labeled. However, for face A, if we look over here, which is highlighted in yellow, the length is 5 and the width is 2, so you have 5 times 2, which is 10 centimeters squared. Then you have face B, which is highlighted in green. Our opposite sides, our length to face A is connected to face B. So our opposite side for the length of A is going to be the length of B, which is 5. So 5 times 3. How we get the 3? If you look over here, the width of face E is the opposite to the width of face B because they are connected. So 5 times 3 and you get 15 centimeters squared. Face C. Face C, opposite sides. So the length will be 5 times 2. The width is given to you and you get 10 centimeters squared. Same with face D. Opposite sides, so your length will be 5 and the width is given to you. 5 times 3 is 15 centimeters squared. For face D, your length and your width are given to you, which is 2 and 3. 3 times 2 is 6 centimeters squared. For F, remember opposite sides. So since faces E and F are attached to B, the width to F will also be 3 centimeters. So 3 times 2 is 6 centimeters squared. Then you add up all the faces, 10 plus 15 plus 10 plus 15 plus 6 is 62 centimeters squared, which is the surface area of this rectangular prism. Let's go on to example number 2. Here's your rectangular prism for example number 2. Your length is 8, your width is 3, and your height is 6. So they're finding the area of the two sides of the rectangular prism, which is 5 times 3 for face A and for face B. So it's 18 centimeters squared. When you add them both up to both of them, you're just going to get 36. Now let's look at face C and face D, which is the top of the rectangular prism and the bottom of the rectangular prism. The length and the width is 8 times 3. You get 24 centimeters squared. You add that up, and the faces to both to both faces C and D is 48 centimeters squared when you add up 24 plus 24. Last but not least, the one front, and the back is 6 times 8. 6 times 8 is 48. You're going to add 48 plus 48 to the front and the back faces, and you get 96. When you add up 36 plus 48 plus 96, you get 180 centimeters squared.
So we are going to determine the surface area of this figure. I don't think I know how to calculate the surface area.
I don't understand.
don't understand. I don't understand. Let me think back till yesterday. We did 3D figures and we talked about nets. Now let me think back to what Ms. Maljevic said about calculating surface area from a net. So this is a rectangular prism, which means it has 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And once I create this net from it, I can use the area formulas that I know and love for a rectangle, area equals length times width, to calculate the surface area. So unlike volume, surface area still is only going to require the multiplication of 2 dimensions. So volume, if you picture a gift box, like for somebody's birthday present or Christmas present or whatever it is you get a present for, in the box, that's the volume. How much stuff can you put in there? Then you start wrapping it up. That's the surface area. How much of that flat paper would we need to cover up the box? So here is my net. I color coded it so I can see the different shapes that I need to calculate the area of. And I'm going to start here with A and C. So I don't see those sides labeled. So I'm just going to cry and quit. Just kidding. Ms. Maljevic said that opposite sides of a rectangle are always equal. So I see this 6 over here, which means I can label this as 6, and this is 6, and this is 6, and this is 6. This side is labeled as 2, which means this opposite side is also 2. And when they connect to make that corner, this one also must be equal to 2. So to find the area of A, I'm going to multiply 6 times 2. Here's my favorite part. Once I know A, I can also figure out C because they are equal. So all I have to do here is a little copy and paste, and I know that C is also equal to 12 centimeters squared. Now I'm going to move on to face B. So face B, my 6 is labeled. Down here was my 3 centimeters, which means this is also 3 centimeters. So to find the area of face B, I'm going to do 3 times 6 for the length times the width. Once again, that means that face B would be the exact same area. So I can just do some copy and paste action on this one. 18 centimeters squared. So what I have left then is face E and F. My 3 is labeled down here, which makes these opposite sides also equal to 3. My 2 up here makes this opposite side 2. The opposite faces of a rectangular prism are equivalent. So I am going to multiply 3 times 2 to get 6 centimeters squared. And that would be the same for face F. So now my last step for determining the surface area is to add up all 6 areas. 12 plus 12 plus 18 plus 18 plus 6 plus 6. So I'm going to double up because Ms. Maljevic said that would be easier. And I'm going to get 24 plus 36 plus 12. Now I'm doing 24 plus 36. I'm going to rewrite it over here. I get 60, and 60 plus 12 is 72 centimeters squared. Miss you guys. Let us know if you have any questions.